in life there are so many big questions, important questions, questions about where did all this come from, and what do we do with this problem of evil, and what does cosmology and all these other things tell us about God or the lack of God's existence. But I think being here at the Caribbean Sea can give us a glimpse into the immensity and into the magnitude of whatever or whoever created or caused all these things we see. In his Pensies, Blaise Pascal says, "If there were no obscurity, man would not be sensible of his corruption. If there were no light, man would not hope for a remedy. Thus it is not only fair, but advantageous to us that God be partly hidden and partly revealed, since it is equally dangerous to man to know God without knowing his own wretchedness, and to know his own wretchedness without knowing God." Likewise, Dr. Frank Turek says, "God has provided enough evidence in this life to convince anyone willing to believe, yet he has left some ambiguity so as not to compel the unwilling." So let me break this down. There's enough evidence to point to God if you are open to where the evidence may lead. If there's not a presuppositional bias against supernatural, against creationism, some of these things are actually fairly obvious to see. There are hundreds of constants that are simultaneously interacting and reacting to hold and sustain this beautiful planet we call Earth. A demonstration of some of those constants is right behind me with the waves that you see crashing onto the beach. Dr. Hugh Ross, who himself is an astrophysicist, has demonstrated as one aspect of the anthropic principle, which anthro means man, and so the principles that sustain or allow for life, especially human life, to sustain. He's looked at all these different constants, and one is the moon-earth gravitational interaction. So if this interaction were greater than it currently is, tidal effects on the oceans, atmosphere, and rotational period would be too severe. If it were less, orbital changes would cause climatic instabilities. In either event, life on Earth would be impossible. So the fact that we can even have these debates is undergirded by the fact that we have a planet specifically designed for us to have those debates on. If you choose to believe that that's just accidental, yes, you're right. But I think the proper response to seeing the beauty that we see in life is to worship.